All right, welcome back to Ozark Garage. Today we're working on a brand new project for us, and that is our Ford Transit Moto van. So this is a Ford Transit high roof van, and we're going to use this to not only haul our motorcycles, but also camp in, so we could sleep in here. And to do that, we're going to need some kind of bed system here. I want something adjustable that I can put up at the roof when we're loading the motorcycles in here unencumbered, so I don't have to duck my head. And then we can lower down over the bikes if we want to sleep with the bikes in here, or if there's no bikes in here, we can lower it all the way down as low as we want and sleep in here again. So to do that, I'm going to use good old Uni-Strut. Uni-Strut is mostly used for plumbing and electrical applications. Because it's so common, it's very inexpensive. You can get it at your local home improvement store, and then there's a variety of fittings and hardware available for it. So I've got some aluminum cam handles here and some additional hardware from McMaster Car. And the plan here is to have the bed all the way up when we're loading the bikes. And then if we want to sleep in here with the bikes in here, we can lower it down approximately this height here on all four corners, lock the bed in place, climb up here at sleep. Or if there's no bikes in here, we can lower it down as low as we want, have a much lower bed with much more headroom. So I've already got two pieces of Uni-Strut back here tacked in place. Now it's time to put the front two in, so let's get to it. As someone who's built roll cages over the years, I can tell you it's sometimes very challenging to build a square structure in a vehicle because generally speaking, nothing in a vehicle is square or as flat as it may seem. These top sections of the Ford Transit slope inward. The bottom here slopes outward a little bit, and this bowed here in the middle. Even the D-pillars back here, the insides of them are not square because they're stamped, so it has to come off of the tooling. So with a combination of measuring and a good old angle finder, I've got these tacked in, but they are still adjustable. So the back of these I have bolted in so I can shim them or slide them as necessary. The back here is the narrowest portion of the van, and it's actually a little bit wider here in the middle. So when we come up here to the middle, we're not going to be able to attach it the same way we did back there because it's wider here, and down at the very base, it's even wider still. Luckily for me, this stamped square pocket seems to be pretty vertical. I'm going to mount up here at the top, and then I'll mount down at the bottom of the C-pillar, and then I'll find a spot here in the middle and cut a piece of tubing to mount there. So here's a quick overview of the adjustable bed plan. The frame for the mattress will be 1 inch by 1.5 inch rectangular tubing. And I've got my Uni-Strut here. These are 3 feet long. The ones in the van are actually 74 inches, so just over 6 feet, so just over double this. This is scaled down for clarity. Here's the clamp mechanism I showed you earlier. On the back, I will be using kind of just a standard pivot, so a single hole. And then the front of the van will have a slide. What this will allow is for one person to raise and lower the bed by themselves by going from back to front or vice versa in about 20-inch increments. If you have two people, obviously you can raise it or lower it as much as you want, but one person will be limited to pretty much this 20-inch increment, and then you lock it back down, move to the other side, and lower it. So next up, we'll be building this bed frame here for a mattress. The plan is to make this about 58 inches wide and 74 inches long to hold a 4-inch memory foam mattress designed for a pull-out sofa, trying to keep it low profile and lightweight so we have plenty of headroom. So here's the bed frame mounting tabs. I cut these out initially on my CNC plasma, but one of the problems with the plasma is you don't get really precise holes. And I wanted a really precise hole fit over these spacers because I'm trying to keep this from rattling when it goes down the road. So the less slop there is, the better it'll be. So I tacked them together and clamped them in the mill, and started with a 5/8 inch annular cutter, cut a precise 5/8 hole, and then used a 3/4 inch ball end mill that I had with a nice slip fit onto the spacer. For the slot, the same kind of thing happened. I started with a 1/2 inch blank, and then I put it in the mill and machined out both sides of the slot to get a nice precise fit. It took a couple passes to get it, but overall it slides really nicely and there's very little slop. So hopefully this doesn't rattle going down the road, but we'll have to test it out and see. All right, so got the bed frame tacked together with the brackets. Now the only thing left to do is try it for a test fit. So as I put this together, let me give you an overview of the components. So first we have a 3/8/16 cam handle, aluminum powder coated. This is from McMaster Carr. Next up is going to be an oversized 3/8 washer, so 1.5" OD, followed by our spacer, which is 3/8 ID, 3/4 OD, and 1/2 inch long. Self-lubricating plastic washer. And then this goes through the bracket like that. Inside the channel, we've got a 3/8/16 tapped square nut. They've got these anti-rotation square washers that goes on the front side here so it stays aligned. Get this all installed like this. And then there's another plastic washer on the back side also. So this is going to be a bit of a challenge, but should be able to get it all installed relatively easily. Now the whole assembly floats on the steel spacer, and the cam latch clamps down these two nuts together with the spacer, but the bed frame will pivot or float, if you will. So if this is too much slop or this starts to rattle or something, I'm probably going to shim it or go to a smaller spacer and tighten that up. We'll just have to see what it does, and if it causes any issues, I might put like a wave spring or something in there just to keep some pressure on it and to keep it quiet. That's nice and tight there. So now we just got to do 3 more of those. Time for the moment of truth, as they say. To lift this up, I should be able to pull up these 2 levers here. I should be able to slide this side up about 20 inches or so, tighten it down, and then come to this side here, do the same thing. Loosen, loosen, lift. Does rattle a little bit, so we'll have to see if that's a problem down the road. If the mattress is on here and I can compress the mattress between the frame and the ceiling, that should dampen most, if not all of that, and then should be good to go. So now I have to take this back out, finish welding it, and then paint it, and then get ready to put some planks across it. So now that the bed frame is painted, we can go ahead and start putting our decking or planks on it. Originally I was going to use plywood and have a seam down the middle, but I've never built a bed before, so doing some more research I found that you really don't want to use plywood because it doesn't allow the mattress to breathe, especially a foam mattress, and you can get mildew. So I'm going to plank it with regular 1x4 lumber here and leave about a 2-inch gap between the planks all the way down. So first step is cutting these to length because these are 6 feet long and I only need 57 1/4. All right, so now it's time to put the wood planking on the actual frame itself. And to attach them, I'm going to use these tech screws. So these are self-drilling, self-tapping, designed to connect wood to metal. And these work really great. I've used these on a bunch of projects before, and I really like them because they're easy to use. So to keep the wood from splitting, because we're at the end here, I am going to pre-drill them with a countersink bit like this. And to help me locate where I'm going to drill, I 3D printed this little jig, which just will allow me to pilot the 1/8 inch bit here, take it off, and go through and re-drill them to depth, and then I'll be able to put the tech screws through into the metal without splitting, hopefully. So I've gone through and broken all the edges of the boards with a hand plane here and got them laid across the bed frame, getting ready to attach them. So we're going to start on each end and then work our way toward the middle. First thing we're going to do is attach the end board, and then the next board will be spaced with, you guessed it, a 3D printed spacer. So this little guy will snap on there, space it 1.92 inches, and then the next board will go in, and we can keep attaching them as we go down. These tech screws are pretty easy to use. It includes a bit, and all you got to do is drill through the wood, drill into the metal, and it self-taps in there and holds nice and tight. For these middle screws, I just laid them out the old-fashioned way with the tape measure. Nothing fancy here. I'm just putting one in the middle of each board to hold it down, keep it from warping, and support the middle beam, if you will. So with the addition of the wood, the bed frame is definitely heavier. I'm curious what it weighs, so I'm gonna put it on the scale and find out. Call it 65 pounds, make the math easy. It's heavier than I thought.
Let's pause for a second and talk about the flaw with this design. Remember these clamping handles? These clamping handles are each capable of 1,775 pounds of clamping force. If you don't use enough of that clamping force, this is what you get. It will slide down the Uni-Strut.
You all right? I didn't lock mine that well.
I can tell.
Nobody's been injured thus far, but I'm definitely thinking about a safety mechanism for this.
This is the last time this is going to get installed until the van is pretty much done. So not only the bed platform, but the Uni-Strut all has to come out so we can put insulation and walls and get all that stuff installed. And that's part of the reason we don't have a mattress up here, is because we didn't order the mattress yet. It's just going to sit around and don't want it to get dirty. But overall, the platform goes up and down smoothly. It works pretty much as intended, and I'm pretty excited about it. Seems like it's going to do what I want it to do. So if you want to see the rest of this van build, be sure to hit that subscribe button. On the list of things to do are insulation, wall panels, some cabinets and storage, some ventilation, and then tie downs for the bikes underneath this bed. Please hit the like button, and thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.